Arabian. Look at one closely. The face curves inward, where every other horse curves out. A tail held high, a skull shaped like nothing else on earth. Now look inside. The Arabian has 17 pairs of ribs. Every other horse breed has 18. 5 lumbar vertebrae. Other horses have 6. 16 tailbones. Most horses have 18. It's not just smaller, it's built with fewer parts. 3,000 years ago, Bedouin tribes in the desert bred them for endurance. Horses that could run 100 miles with almost no water. The most valuable ones slept inside the family tents at night, beside the children. Every Arabian alive today traces back to those same desert lines. Here's what nobody mentions. Almost every popular horse breed on Earth carries Arabian blood somewhere in its DNA. The Thoroughbred, the Quarter Horse, the Mustang, the Friesian, all of them. 3 of those Arabians would change racing forever. Thoroughbred. 3 horses arrived in England between 1680 and 1729. The Byerly Turk, the Darley Arabian, the Godolphin Arabian. That's it. That's the entire foundation of every thoroughbred alive today. Every Kentucky Derby winner, every Royal Ascot champion, every racehorse from Tokyo to Dubai. Grandchildren of 3 stallions brought to a single island 3 centuries ago. And one of them mattered more. Almost 95% of thoroughbreds alive today carry the male DNA of just one of those horses, the Darley Arabian. A single stallion 300 years ago. These horses run up to 70 kilometers per hour, built tall, long legs, hollow bones for speed, lungs bigger than yours and mine combined, a heart that weighs 12 kilos, the size of a small basketball, bred for one thing only, the first 30 seconds of a race. Mustang, the wild horse of the American West. Except they aren't wild, they're feral. Mustangs are descended from horses that escaped Spanish conquistadors in the 1500s and 1600s, lost in the desert, forgotten in canyons. Slowly, generations of them turned into something half wild, trained by no one, owned by no one. Today, around 80,000 of them still roam the public lands of Nevada, Wyoming, Montana, living in herds of 15, 20, 50. And here's what people forget. Horses evolved in North America. 12,000 years ago, they went extinct on this continent. Every horse left on Earth was somewhere else. Then Spanish ships arrived, and horses set foot on American soil for the first time in 12 millennia. The Mustang didn't conquer a new land, it came home. 12,000 years too late. Half a world away, a black horse was vanishing from a country that loved it. Friesian, the black horse from every fantasy film. Lady Hawk, Aragon, Game of Thrones, Conan. The horse Khaleesi rode across the Dothraki plains. Friesian, coat like polished obsidian, mane and tail so long they nearly touch the ground, long black feathers on the legs, built tall, over 16 hands, almost impossibly elegant. It looks like a horse from a painting. For centuries, that's exactly what it was. Then, in 1913, something almost ended it. The Friesian was a working horse in Holland. Crossbreeding for stronger farm horses diluted the bloodline year by year. By the start of the First World War, there were 3 breeding stallions left. In the entire world, 3! Every Friesian alive today is descended from them. A breed that fills cinema screens in the 21st century was rebuilt from 3 horses on a Dutch farm. In Scotland, a giant of a horse was running out of work. Clydesdale, a horse so heavy its hoof prints look like bear tracks. Bred in the valley of the Clyde River in Scotland. 18 hands tall, up to 1,000 kilograms. A workhorse the size of a small car. Long white feathers on the legs, a blaze down the face. A hoof wider than a dinner plate. A single Clydesdale eats 25 kilograms of hay every single day. For 200 years, this was the engine of British farming. Every plow, every cart, every brewery wagon. Then, the tractor arrived. In 30 years, the Clydesdale almost disappeared. What saved it wasn't farming. In 1933, an American beer company called Budweiser put 8 of them on a wagon and drove them through New York City. The Clydesdale didn't survive because the world still needed it. It survived because a beer company needed a face. Akhal-Teke, the horse that looks like it's made of metal. A golden coat that catches sunlight and throws it back, like a horse dipped in liquid gold. It isn't paint, it's the structure of the hair itself. Each strand of an Akhal-Teke's coat is partly hollow, arranged in a way that bends light back at the viewer. Other horses have hair, this one has mirrors. The breed is 3,000 years old, raised in the deserts of Turkmenistan where water and grass are rare. They can cross hundreds of kilometers of desert with little food. Today there are around 6,000 of them in the world. The Akhal-Teke isn't just a horse, it's the national emblem of an entire country, on Turkmenistan's flag, on its money, on its passports. Appaloosa, the horse covered in spots. A coat patterned like a leopard. No two ever look alike. The Appaloosa wasn't bred in Europe, it was bred in the high plateaus of what is now Idaho and Oregon by a people called the Nez Perce. For 300 years, the Nez Perce kept their horses on careful pastures, selecting the fastest, the strongest, the most distinct. They were considered some of the finest horse breeders in North America. In 1877, the U.S. Army went to war with the Nez Perce over land. When it ended, the Army confiscated the herds. Some were sold, some were shot. Most were scattered into bloodlines that no longer existed. The Nez Perce lost their land in 1877. They lost their horses the same year. One survived. One had to be rebuilt. 600 years earlier, a different horse was building the largest empire in human history. Mongolian Horse, the least impressive horse in this video. Short legs, squat body, a head that looks too big, a mane that stands straight up, about 13 hands tall, the size of a small pony. It isn't elegant, it isn't fast, and it changed the world more than any of them. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan rode this horse out of Mongolia and built the largest contiguous empire in human history. From Korea to Poland, every Mongol warrior kept 3 to 5 of these horses on rotation. When one tired, they switched without dismounting. A Mongol cavalry unit could cover 160 kilometers in a day. There are about 3 million Mongolian horses today. They never went through a bottleneck. They were never almost extinct. They were never bred for racing or film. The most beautiful horse isn't the most important one. The fastest horse isn't either. The horse that changed the world the most was the one nobody puts on a postcard.